Good evening and welcome everyone. I'm TWest and I'm going to look at a game on Arena that I played against Nobody. You can check out his Twitch stream at twitch.tv/nobody41. And we both random civs from the Forgotten expansion. We played this on HD and went random civs, and I thought this would be a good chance to look at how some of these civs stack up on Arena. So Nobody got the Magyars, and I ended up with the Indians. And I think on Arena that the Indians are a much stronger civ than the Magyars. That's for a few reasons. The Magyars, they really don't get any good eco bonuses. If we take a look at their, go to his perspective and take a look at the tech tree real quick, we see that villagers kill wolves with one strike. They get free blacksmith upgrades and they get cheaper scout cavalry, but they don't have any eco bonuses. They don't collect resources any faster. They don't get any cheaper units other than scouts, which on Arena, sometimes you might make scouts in the feudal days to try and get map control and help you get relics, but after that, as the game progresses, they don't really have any benefit. The Indians, meanwhile, they get cheaper villagers the further they go in the game. And so villagers cost minus 10% Dark Age, 15% feudal, and so on. This is a really good bonus if they want to get a strong boom. Also, the Magyars are a cavalry civilization, and units such as knights, paladins aren't really as powerful on Arena, where since you have a very small map, no real hills, not much distance between the players, slower units such as monks and mangonels tend to be a lot more prominent on this map than on something like Arabia, where knights are really powerful. So, as we go through the game, speed things up as we go through the Dark Age. Just gonna mess up a little bit there. Should have had that sheep under the town center, but no big deal. Gonna put 6 on sheep and the next 4 onto wood, and after that I'll lower my boar into the town center. Nobody, gonna go for something similar, 6 on sheep, 4 on wood, and then bring in his boar. Now let's take a look at my scouting. I see that I have this nice little back area with some stone there. I see that my main stone and my main gold are both kind of forward, but I have a bit of distance between the wall and the gold. And this stone, even though it's kind of forward, isn't towards the front of my base, it is kind of towards the side. So not too bad, and when I scout later I will see that I end up with one of the extra golds in the back of my base, and since I have all this space in the back, I figure this will be a good time to play it safe and just kind of boom up instead of going for lots of aggression with monks and mangonels, especially since the Indians are a good booming civ, and I know that if we get to the late game, the Indians have a much more powerful unit combination, being able to tack into, let's see, we have gunpowder units like hand cannons, we have camels to counter the Magyars' cavalry, which is the Magyar strength, and also, if we look at the Siege Workshop, we do have some bombard cannons. The rest of their siege isn't that great, but they do have good gunpowder units, which are very useful on Arena. Meanwhile, the Magyars in the late game, take a look at their tech tree. They lack hand cannons. They do have Arbalest, Champion, and Paladin, but they are missing a couple of blacksmith upgrades. They're missing the last armor upgrade for their melee units, and they're missing a lot of siege. No bombard cannons, no siege onagers or siege rams. So if it gets to the late game, I should have the advantage. So I'm just going to try to play it safe and make sure the game gets to the late game where I should have a good advantage. And bringing in my second boar now. I notice that my deer are outside my wall, and see if I've scouted that. I can just see a deer if it walks there, so they're not going to be in the best position to lure them because I had built that house there. If I had seen those deer earlier, I probably wouldn't have built the house right up against that wall, because that pretty much is the segment of wall I'd want to delete in order to lure the deer in. But of course, since it's Arena, you're safe for a lot of the game. I do manage to see that second gold, that extra gold in the back. I know that my secondary gold is forward there and forward there. So even though I do have the extra gold, my 2 secondary golds are pretty far forward. So that's not the best position. That deer gonna run inside my wall, so I'm just gonna try to shoot it with a villager, and just so that it doesn't run back out. This was kind of annoying because there's also that tree there in front of the wall. I I like deleting two spaces when I lure my deer in, just 'cause I think it makes it easier for them to walk through, but I didn't notice that tree was there when I had deleted the wall. That one and that one would have been a bit nicer to delete than those two. But I'm going to try to get the deer in. I wasn't able to get them in quickly enough since I'm going for a boom. I think I would have preferred to have clicked up on around 25 population, and as that one walks back, I just decided to shoot it and bring these two villagers over to the deer. But since I had a bit of trouble bringing those in, I just went up on 26 to make sure that I had enough resources to click up once I got to feudal. Since this is arena, there's no reason to research loom because I'm not going to be attacked for at least until a castle age. And since I don't research loom, I only need 2 villagers on gold. If you are going for something like a night rush as the pocket on Arabia, then you need to have at least 3 on gold as you're going up to feudal because you research loom and you only have 50 gold. But since I don't research loom, as I get the first hit on the scout fight there, since I didn't research loom, I had 100 gold and I only needed 2 villagers on gold to be able to click up once I put down my market in blacksmith. Now if we take a look at what nobody's doing, since he is the Magyars, it looks like he's going to take advantage of his cheaper scouts. He's going to put down a blacksmith and a stable, so he's going to try to get some map control and try to use his scouts to help him pick up the relics that are scattered around the map. Relics can be very useful because they generate a lot of gold, and that's gold that you don't need villagers to collect, you don't need populations, they just sit in your monastery and make gold. And if the game goes on for a long time, you can get thousands of gold from those relics. So if you're able to collect up all 5 relics, that's a massive boost to your economy. It's like having several villages collecting gold. Now, I'm moving a couple villagers over to the gold because I want to try to collect up relics. I have this one relic in my base here, and I'm scouting out. I can't really see anything inside of his walls other than he has a relic there, and his main stone and his secondary stone are forward. I see on the map the other extra gold is here, and the extra stone is out in this corner. But now I get to castle, and I'm going to put down a monastery to try and collect the relics. And I need to be careful here. I haven't seen him. I haven't been able to scout that he's going scouts yet because his buildings are just far enough back. I should be able to guess by his uptime, though, since he's a bit slower than I am, that he did go up on the 27 pop you normally do to make scouts. And he does get those free blacksmith upgrades, so his scouts are going to be really powerful, and I'm not going to be able to fight him off with my scout. And here I notice he's going with a full health scout, so I know that's not his feudal age scout. And at this point, I'm going to try and get the convert, but he's strong enough with that 7 attack, just monks only have 30 health, he can kill it in just a few hits, and I'm not going to be able to get a convert there. And so I went with a double monastery, and now I think that's a mistake since he had all those scouts out. One thing I could have done is maybe gotten up a barracks and tried to get out a couple of spearmen, but I didn't want to spend the wood on that when I was trying to boom up. So next, I already have my second town center. Lose a villager, unfortunately, to those wolves there. But I'm going to put up my third town center. That was an unfortunate encounter with those wolves. I'm housed, so I'm going to do wheelbarrow. That's a bit sloppy. Let's take a look at the rest of the map. I'm making a couple more monks. I'm going to try to send them out together and get a convert, but he went into light cavalry, so now he has 9 attack, and he's just going to eat into my monks. I don't know if light cavalry was a good idea. It's probably a waste of resources because his scout cavalry are already very powerful against my monks. And I'm gonna go for the convert. I'm gonna use 2 monks to convert and try to get the scout and beat his monk to it. But he has those scouts coming over, so those 2 just use their conversion, and that monk's not gonna get away with that relic. He has his scouts there to kill it. But that's okay. I'm just gonna stay back here, boom up. He does have 4 of the relics. I probably invested a bit too much into monks once I saw that he was taking the relics, and I didn't really have anything to protect them. Those light cavalry are really strong, but I don't think that upgrade was necessary for him. And now I'm just going to concentrate on booming up. Let's take a look at what he's doing. Looks like he's going to do the same. He has 2 town centers and has added in his 3rd. Getting out a couple of monks. He has good control of the map, but he hasn't scouted this side, so he doesn't see where he hasn't scouted the extra stone and the extra gold. So he knows that he doesn't have any extra resources in the back of his base. Maybe he can guess that I have something in the back of mine, but he doesn't know exactly what that is without having scouted the rest of these resources. He is, though, going to pick up that 4th relic now. So that'll be 4 relics for him. That'll be a nice boost to his gold economy. At least I do have 1, and I do have that extra gold in the back where I can safely take gold. Going up to 4th Town Center, trying to get a rather large boom going. That villager's idle. Go chop the tree. Go chop the tree. Oh, he's just going to stand there for a while. You always got to be pressing that idle villager button. He's got some T90 farms going on over here. Not that close to a mill. And I'm going to start taking stone so I can get up a castle. In case he tries to push in, I'm going to want a castle to defend myself. I'm going to start getting up a stable, so I know since Magyars have very strong cavalry, I'm going to want to be able to go into camels, because Indians have strong camels, and they'll be especially effective against the Magyars, because Magyars are a cavalry civilization. And I see his scout there, so I can see that he's scouted my stable, so I know he's probably going to want to go halberdiers to counter my cavalry units. So as I'm advancing to the Imperial Age, I'm going to want to start getting out some archery ranges, and at my university, once I hit Imperial, I'm going to want to research chemistry. That way I'll be able to make some hand cannoneers out of my archery ranges and use them to counter any halberdier that he makes. If we take a look at him, he's going to start moving out across the map and to start making his buildings forward. Since he does have those light cavalry and monks out, and now he's getting out a couple of spears too, there's not much I'm going to be able to do to kill those villagers. It would be nice if I had a couple of units when I'm going to make a scout to scout this, but he's going to be able to move out first, and with that map control, he's able to keep me in my base for now, and keep me away from these 2 secondary golds that I have. But still, he's just booming up and didn't go for any type of castle aggression, which really plays into my hands because I have a good map to boom, and I have a good civ to boom with, especially against his Magyars. Now he's going down with a siege workshop and a bunch of barracks, so he's going to go heavy into the pikemen and probably look to research halberdier once he gets up. And you can see the difference in the scores because of my boom. He just clicks up and gets up, and he might even take a score lead as he starts producing military a bit more quickly than I do as I start to get the upgrades. But at this point he's on 96 population, I'm on 116, and since he has more militaries, I definitely have a stronger economy there. Unfortunately HD doesn't have the spectator dashboard, so I can't just check what my eco looks like, or the number of villagers. I do bring out a couple of units to scout, try to pick off amongst, but he has the halberdiers there. That scout, he's just going to YOLO against 5 halberdiers and leave the gate open. That brave soul. A few halberdiers get in. I now have these hand cannons in the back. I'd put up a castle. I don't know if that's the best position because he was pushing in over here, but it will help keep this side of my base safe if he decides to push in. And I have enough stone now for another castle. I'm guessing those villagers finished that stone and decided they were all going to walk over here. Look at that. Look at that unit AI pathfinding. That sucks because I can't hit the idle villager button. Notice that they're there because they were all they're all trying to mine stone. But since I see he's pushing in here, I go to put up another castle over here. I have some light cavalry in my stable to deal with the rams. I have some hand cannons coming out, and even some more coming out to deal with those halberdier. Now that that castle's up, I'm going to garrison my villagers inside of it to increase its attack. I'm going to try to micro the light cav to go after the rams and use the hand cannons to go after the halberdier, and even have a bombard cannon in the back firing on his units. And this attack really isn't going to be worth it for him. He's going to try to get out, but he's already lost his army. Now I can start pushing out and getting access to this gold, access to this wood line, come over here and get these extra resources. And I have good scouting of the map. I see where all of the golds are. I know at some point I can do some raiding up here on this gold and to kind of kill some villages of his, keep him off that gold. And okay, good. Nobody has scouted the extra resources now. He did have that map control on the map vision, so it's good that he scouted all that. And he is chopping down that forest a bit. But I see he is pushing in over here, and if he does decide to come over here, I do have this castle to defend it. I need to clean up that stone mine. I have too many villagers idle around there. And I have a couple idle villages here and there as I've built new lumber camps. Now I'm housed, putting down some more houses just to get the population up. And here I am building some stables. I figure that camels will be good if he does decide to, because they are my most powerful unit if I can get into Imperial camels as the Indians. I figure that they'll be good for either camels or light cav for taking out all those onagers he has. Because, well, I do have bombard cannons that can engage them from afar, but the hand cannons will die pretty quickly to the onagers. I'm able to get some good bombard cannon shots there. I even have 2 over here because I know he's got to push it this way, so I'm able to hit him from 2 directions with the bombard cannons. Get 2 for 1 shot there. That was nice. This last one coming in. Gonna get a shot on my cannons, but they gotta tank it. And now I'm in a position where I can push it back. And I can now take this gold. I'm going to put it down a town center and a castle to keep my villagers safe while I take it. Destroying his siege workshops, pushing this back. And now those villages, they're just sitting there all idle. That gather point, I need to move that gather point onto this wood line and not leave it on that stone. But if you look at the population difference now, I have about an 80 population lead, so I'm in a pretty good position. I see he's putting down stables, so I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna start making some more camels. I have the heavy camel upgrade. Let's see, can't tell what I'm researching at my blacksmith. I'm just gonna come in, keep pushing in on these buildings. I have Hussar to do some raiding. And we're just gonna follow that cavalier up here and start hitting these villages on the gold mine, force them away from that gold. There we go. Now that I have the map control, I can force him to stay inside of his base, where he really doesn't have any resources. He's almost done with that stone mine. His main gold is running out, and he's on this gold over here. I'm also taking my secondary gold, and these 2 golds are very close. So I see him there, so I decide I'm just gonna put up a castle over here. I have a hussar that's raiding him. He tries to put up a tower to stop my castle, but I have enough villagers building the castle that it's not gonna matter. I've cleaned up all of his buildings at the front of his base, and now I'm ready to start pushing in. And now I'm going to force him off of this gold as well. And now he doesn't have a way to take gold, because this gold in his base is just about to run out. Lucky for him, he does have the relics, but I have all the map control. He can't take this gold because I can raid it. I have a castle stopping him from taking this gold. My bombard cannons are a bit forward without my army. I need to move that army up more quickly, but I have heavy camels. Imperial camel is going to come in pretty soon, and I should be able to take this fight pretty well. He's trying to treb down my castle, but not really going to be too successful there. The only thing he really can take now is this stone in the front of his base. And I'm just getting out the camels I need to counter these paladin. See, there's Imperial camel almost done. And once that's done, these paladin aren't going to be much of a threat. And there we go, Imperial camel. And those paladin are going to die pretty quickly. Trying to get out a barracks and get out some more halbs. But at this point, I can pretty much counter anything he's doing. I'm going to repair that castle and get out my own treb. Going to take out his trebs with my camel and my bombard cannon, so the castle is going to stay up. And I can start trebbing down his with a treb and a bombard cannon. That'll go down pretty quickly. And there's the GG. Alright. So I think that just shows the power of the Indians over the Magyars on Arena. If you go to the late game, the Indians just have a unit composition that can counter pretty much anything the Magyars can do. The Magyars do have a very good ability to go scouts and take map control, as we saw, but he didn't really use that to pressure me at all. He just tried to boom up, and especially with my eco bonuses, I was able to outboom him and take a good fight at the beginning of Imperial, where I was able to push him back across the map and just take the game from there. So let's go and take a look at the achievements. Yeah, by the end of the game I had gotten the higher score. Military-wise, I was able to take some good fights. Collected more resources with my boom, and was able to age up a bit more quickly. He did get about 3,000 relic gold that game, which was good for him, but I just had a lot more villagers to sustain my economy. Alright, GG, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.